Anyways, guys, so Carl, well, now's a good place to actually start the recording for, for where you're going to trim it and stuff. All right, guys, so welcome to the webinar. So this morning, it's going to be fairly casual, and we're really just going to spend the morning, probably about an hour. We might go a little over. It kind of depends. I might be inviting some of you guys to jump in and chat with me, or, kind of be examples and that kind of stuff. But I've got a lot of stuff to cover, so I don't know how interactive it's going to be. There's definitely going to be things I'm going to have you guys be doing as you go. And one thing I would recommend is to take notes. So if you're on the webinar, be ready to take notes, because I'm going to cover quite a bit of stuff today, and I'm going to cover it pretty fast. And you're going to want to write it down, because the exercise and the stuff I'm going to talk to you about, we're not going to go as in depth and in detail as I probably could go, just because of time. But I really spend like a tremendous amount of time creating goals and plans and doing all the work that we're going to talk about today. I spend a lot of time on that as I make goals for the following year. And so it's not something that you want to rush through. And this is going to be kind of an introduction, and then there's a lot more detail we could go into at a later date. So, Carl, I can share my screen, right? I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. So, I guess my NFL pick'em. All right, guys. So this is going to be kind of our outline for what we're going to talk about today, and just to kind of show you. So most of you guys probably know who I am. So for the purpose of this call, though, I'll introduce myself a little bit differently. So obviously my name's Eric. I run Painting Business Pro. I'm actually, so I run 4 companies right now. So Painting Business Pro is one of them, and then National Painting Group is another one. So we own or have an ownership stake in 5 painting companies. And then I also co-own Painter Choice, and we're doing a lot of cool stuff with that in the next year. I'm actually going to be doing a lot of cool stuff with Painting Business Pro in the next year. And then also I own or co-own Pole Body Fusion, which is an online fitness company. We're doing a lot of stuff with pole fitness and pole dancing and yoga and that kind of stuff. So anyways, I've got 4 businesses. I'm engaged. I'm planning a wedding. My wedding is in June. I have a new puppy. His name's Decker, and he's normally probably be running around my feet, but I got him kicked out so he doesn't distract me. But he's like 15 weeks old, and he's been a handful and a great little guy to have around. And then also my family all lives really close. I'm really close with my friends and family. I spend a lot of time with friends and family. And what I do for fun mostly is I golf a lot. So I'm a huge golfer. I'll probably get, I don't even know actually how many rounds I play in a year, but there will be weeks where I golf like 4 or 5 times in a week in the summer and in the spring and the fall. So huge golfer. And then I'm also a big snowboarder. So I do quite a bit of snowboarding up in the mountains. We got great mountains here in Colorado. I'm actually doing a cool trip up to Canada for a cat skiing trip to Baldface Lodge, which I'm really pumped about. So that's in a couple months here. And this is actually the first December that I have not been traveling in 5 years, since 2011. 2011 was the last time I was here in Colorado, all of December. And I'm not technically here all of December. I'm leaving December 27th for that skiing trip. But yeah, so I travel a ton. I spend a lot of time with friends and family. Love snowboarding, love golfing. And then got a new puppy. I'm planning a wedding. I run 4 companies. And I've got a pretty good balance in life. I'm not working 60 or 70 hours a week. And that's not just how it turned out. That's because I really intentionally plan and organize my businesses in my life so that I have balance in my life, and I have the time to invest and go on dates with my fiance and spend time with her and take weekends off, and that I have time to have a puppy, and I have time to, travel. We're not going to continue this because I'm kind of burned out on traveling, which is something I never thought I would say, but I've been traveling about 70 or 80 days a year, sometimes maybe even close to 90 days a year for the last 5 years. And that's a lot of stuff to be able to get done. And I'm telling you all this because that's the stuff that's been important to Eric. That's the stuff that's been important to me. of course, my businesses are important, but also I have my fiance and I have my family and I have my friends and I have my recreation, my leisure, and I have travel. I also have personal training and development, and I do a lot of that kind of stuff to further develop myself personally and professionally. I have a lot of commitments in my life. And, the whole purpose and the whole benefit to being an entrepreneur is, as an entrepreneur, you actually have the opportunity to have it all. You're in control of your time and your schedule. And to some degree, you're in control of your income. And when you can control your time and your money, you basically have your hands on the levers and dials of your life to have anything you want. However, we are never really taught the fundamental and necessary skills that are required to have that kind of life. And you don't need to look very far to realize that entrepreneurs everywhere you hear about, they're overworked. I'm an entrepreneur and it's a tough life and I work 60 or 70 or 80 hours a week and blah, 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 blah. And, it's just this big, it's kind of like a complaint. It's like a humble brag. It's kind of like a complaint, but I'm kind of like bragging, like, look how much I work. And, I don't envy people who work 80 hours a week. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Some people, that's the thing that they do and they love it. And that's great. And there's been times where I've worked that much. But for me right now, that's not, unless that's really what you want, that's not something to brag about. I think it's important that you have everything you want. So that's what this is about. And there's really these 5 things right here, guys, these 5 really simple things. And if you just get like a few of them really nailed down, it'll just totally change your life and how you do things. And so that's kind of what we're going to cover. And I'm really confident that if you could just master these 5 things as an entrepreneur, you would so be in the driver's seat. You would so be in control of your time and your schedule and the other parts of your life that are important to you. These 5 things are going to take you so damn far. You have no idea. And, there's other stuff that kind of is encompassed within this, but these 5 things are going to make a huge difference. So this is what we're going to cover today. And I'm going to be doing kind of an introduction on these 5 principles and try and give you enough information about each of them that you can start to implement them in your own life. All right, so I would say that these are so let's just kind of dive right into it, guys. So, and before we really dive into, let me close that and see, where can I see the chat? Where's the chat? There's the chat. Okay, so I'm going to have the chat open here. And if you guys have any questions that pop up, or you have any questions that pop up, or you want to engage with anything, just put it in the chat. Carl's going to be watching, I'm watching, and we'll make this engaging as well. And if I'm not paying any attention, someone put a question in there, Carl, just interrupt me and I'll answer questions, and we'll try to make this interactive as well. So having said all that, let's dive in. So this first one is whole life management and goal setting. All right, so this is kind of the first thing that I think is really important. So we're actually going to change the order here, and we're going to do time management first. So, whoops. Okay, guys, there's 4 rules for time management. All right, so the first rule is write everything down. All right, we'll come back to that. The second rule is plan your week by Sunday. The third rule is review your day. And some of you guys might have seen this. I have a YouTube video all about this, which you can find on my YouTube channel. So just go to the YouTube channel. There's a time management video. It's called 4 Rules of Time Management. It's going to go into a little bit more detail about these, but write everything down, plan your week by Sunday, review your day each day, and plan your next day. And then we'll also say this is just like complete your day. All right, so do that. And then the last thing is you need whole life goals to plan your week. All right, so that's how you're going to plan your week. So maybe we'll put it in this order here and like that. All right, so here's the thing, guys. With time management, the first thing is we need to have whole life goals to plan your week. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do you plan goals for your entire life, but you need to have whole life goals to plan your week. And what that means is you have goals that include all areas of your life. Goals include all right? So many people, like when you think about setting goals, you set goals for your business, but you don't set goals for your life. And there's more to life than business. And if you don't take the time to plan every part of your life, then you don't really know if you have enough time for everything you want to do. And so let's just pretend you don't have enough time for everything you want to do, which is often the case because there's a lot of shit we want to do in life. So if you don't have enough time to do everything you want to do, if you don't plan it, something's just going to give. Something's just not going to get done. And maybe that's your family, maybe it's something with your business, but that's a problem. Now, if you plan it, then you would find out, hey, I don't actually have time for all this stuff. And you could do one of two things. One is you could say, you know what, I'm not actually going to go on that vacation, or I'm not actually going to go, and do that other thing, or I'm not going to, run this business conference I thought I was going to do, or whatever. So you can choose which thing you're going to not do, or you can get more creative and figure out how to fit it all in. How do you need to adjust your plan? How do you need to adjust your schedule to still have it all? So you've really got to be able to plan every area of your life. And I also am a big believer that, so one is you got to be able to manage your time to get it all done. Because if you don't manage your time, you have no idea, and you're just kind of crossing your fingers that it's all going to get done. The second thing is that your whole life impacts your whole life. So if you're not managing your finances, that's going to have an impact on your personal life. It's going to have an impact on your business, because in your business, you're going to be worried about making money, and everything is tied together. Your business is what makes your money so that you can do the things you want in life. If you've got a bunch of problems happening in your personal life, that's going to definitely be on your mind when you're operating in your business. If you are eating really unhealthy and not exercising, it will slow you down. You don't have the same level of energy and drive and stamina to produce the kind of results you want to produce in your business. So every area of your life impacts other areas of your life. So in our business, we always make sure that our team members have it all. Like, they need to have balance in their life. They need to have time with their friends. They need to party. They need to go camping. They need to manage their finances. They need to go to the gym if that's important to them. They've got to have it all. And oftentimes when someone on our team is not performing well, it's not because something at business, it's because stuff outside of business, like they started dropping the ball on things outside of business, and then it leaks in and creeps in and starts impacting business. So that's the first one. All right. We need to set goals for our whole life. And then using those goals you've set, which we'll talk about in this section, using those goals you've set, you plan your week. And you always plan your week by Sunday, because you don't want to wake up Monday morning and start reacting. The opposite of planning is reacting. If you don't plan, by nature, you're going to react. And you don't want to go through your life and your business reacting, because you'll just end up wherever you end up, and you'll have however long you work. Like, you're just not in control. That's the opposite of what we're after here. Okay, so you've got to plan your entire week by Sunday, and you use your whole life goals to plan your week. All right, so these are tied together. So now it's Monday, and you've already got your whole week planned. Each day, you need to review your day and plan your next day. So this is as simple as, did I get everything done? Yes? Great. No? Whatever did not get done, you need to move it to the future. So everything you said you were going to do, well, you didn't get it all done, so it needs a new home in the future in your calendar. All right, and you also need to communicate with anyone who was impacted by you not getting that thing done. So if I'm getting our new fence installed for our puppy, and I told my fiance that we're going to get the fence, I'm going to get the fence quotes, and I'm going to hire a fence contractor by Tuesday, and I don't get that person hired by Tuesday, then I let her know. I say, hey, Josephine, I didn't get the fencer hired today. I'm going to be meeting with 2 people tomorrow, and I should have them hired tomorrow, and I'll keep you updated. And now there's integrity, all right? And that's going to tie in with integrity down here below as well. All right, so it's really simple. This is really simple, and this is how you ensure that everything you plan to get done gets done. And then the last thing here is, oh, and by the way, this review your day and plan your next day. This is a really powerful exercise because usually my day is done at like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And whenever I'm done for the day, what that means is the rest of the evening, it's just I'm spending time with my fiance and my puppy, and we're maybe hanging around the house, or maybe we're planning our wedding, or maybe we're cleaning up our house, or maybe we're taking our dog to puppy classes or whatever. But once I'm done with work for the day and I've done this exercise and I've completed the whole day, I have a tremendous amount of peace of mind because everything is written down. All right, so this is the last one, is writing everything down. Everything needs to be written down and in your calendar so that you're not at night going through a bunch of lists in your head or trying to remember anything because, frankly, you suck at remembering stuff. Stop trying to remember stuff. And even if you're good at remembering stuff, you don't want to use your brain, which is a powerful, powerful tool. You don't want your brain memorizing lists of shit that you could write down somewhere so that you can free up your brain to think about other stuff. And so there's no reason for people to have a lack of peace of mind at night or when you're not working. There's no reason for it at all. And how you have peace of mind and you don't be stressed and thinking about work all the time is you write everything down and you put it in the schedule. So you don't need to wonder about it. You know that it's in your schedule and you follow your schedule, and it's that simple. Okay, it's simple, but it's not simple. Literally, you need to write everything down. Anything that you say you will do, you say to yourself you will do, you remember you need to do, or you think you want to do, anything that you want to have happen, you must write down. You don't have to. It's just if you want to have a life where you have it all, you've got to do it. All right, so this is your 4 rules for time management. So now we're going to move on, all right? So that's how the rubber meets the road. That's how what you want to have happen happens, is with time management. Now, whole life management and goal setting, all right? So this is goal setting and planning for all areas of your life. So we're just going to kind of dive right in. So this is going to be all inclusive. And again, remember, the purpose of doing this is we're creating a template for how to plan our week every single week. All right, so step 1, all right, list out all of the areas in your life that are important to you or you have a commitment in. So for example, some examples, and you guys might just go ahead and start doing this right now, but examples is, for me, it's like National Painting Group, Painting Business Pro, Painter Choice, Full Body Fusion. Those are the businesses. And then I have my health. I have Josephine and, my fiance, which includes like planning the wedding and, just our life together. Our puppy would be in there too. And then I have friends and family. That's just a commitment in general. So my friends and family and spending time with them are important. Then I have finances is important. Pretty much everyone's going to have that one. And then, for me, I have personal growth and development, personal growth, professional growth and development. And then I have fun. That's travel, recreation, leisure, etc. All right. So that's this first thing. All right. So you get all the areas of your life down. And then step 2, you're going to get clear about and write down your commitment in that area of life. Like what's actual, so that's an area that's important to you. So health is important to me. What about health is important to me? So for example, for me, for health, it's live a long, healthy life, be in great shape, have high energy levels, and I want to have a sustainable diet and exercise plan. Something that I can easily do and enjoy and gets the results I want. That's what I want in health. All right. And then if I look at finances, I want to have the money to do all the things I want to do, including investing and saving money. That's really simple with finances. I just want to be able to do whatever I want to do all the time, forever, financially. And then, if we look at like friends and family, my commitment there is I want to spend time with friends and family and nurture my relationships and let people know I care about them and they're important to me. So you would have your commitments, okay? And then step 3, so you do that for every area. So now you've got the area of life, the commitment, and then you've got the actions required to fulfill it. And there's usually 2 kinds of actions: one-time actions and recurring actions. All right, so for finances, for example, I need to make my budget, one-time action. I need to update my budget every week. That's recurring. All right, for health, I make my diet plan with my brother, personal trainer, and I need and make exercise plan, right? Workout plan. And then I need to work out 4 times per week and follow my meals. And that's really about all I need to do for that. So it's pretty straightforward, and then friends and family, what I do there is like once per week, every Sunday. So this is simple. So every Sunday, look at my friends and family and anyone I haven't spent time with or talked to recently and plan something. Golf, breakfast, coffee, catch up on the phone, whatever. But I plan something. So that's the system I put in place for that. Is I just every single Sunday I look at like all my friends and family. I'm like, who do I need to talk to? And then I want to talk to my sister at least once a week because she doesn't live here, and I want to have coffee with my mom and dad at least once every 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. So you start to get the point. Business is the hardest one, but for me, for like National Painting Group, it's like, I need to have my weekly meetings, my annual conferences, run those, and then weekly review on who needs extra support and set something up with them. And this is with like my key staff. And that's kind of like what I need to do there. And then I run weekly conference calls and trainings that I run. And that's kind of what it boils down to. There's a lot more thinking that go into the business stuff, but that's kind of the short and sweet of it. And then I also have projects. And then for like Painting Business Pro, the actions I need to take is I basically just need to respond to emails and messages. That's like what I need to do. And then I meet with Carl every week. And then I just have projects. The rest of it is one-time projects. All right, so that'll make sense a little later. We don't have time to get into that aspect of it today, but basically there's your recurring schedule. Let's just cover it quick. So you have your recurring schedule, and then you have projects. All right, so projects again are things that happen one time, and so ideally your recurring schedule is kind of what keeps everything afloat. All right, so recurring schedule is like, this is the stuff that needs to happen every single week just to keep the lights on and keep things going. So that's like my meetings, checking the mail, doing my laundry, going to the grocery store, updating my budget, doing my weekly meetings with the team, and With Painting Business Pro, it's like responding to emails and messages and meeting with Carl to make sure things are, moving forward. Projects, though, is like create a new course or program, update all of our, emails, videos, etc., with new branding stuff in our new brand, right? So that's like a big project. So your recurring schedule, that's kind of keeps everything going, right? So your recurring schedule should be about 50% of your week, ideally. And then the other 50% of your week should be open for projects. So that could also be like projects could be, creating your budget for the first time, setting your goals for 2018 and doing actually all of this work. All right. Another project could be updating your SOPs for the next year. That's a project. Could also be hiring a new marketing manager. Could be developing or testing new marketing strategies. All right, so projects Projects are things that like permanently improve your business or your life. Like once it's done, life is better, business is better. All right, so projects are really what moves the needle, but your recurring stuff is what kind of keeps the lights on, if that makes sense. All right, so this is the steps, all right? So this is the steps for whole life management goal setting. So what you want to ask yourself, so how do you know you fulfilled this process? How do you know you've set good goals? Ask yourself this question. If I take all of those actions and follow that plan 100%, can I guarantee that I will get that result? The commitment. So you literally just look, it's like, okay, well, if I do, if I respond to my emails and messages, I meet Carl every week, and then I do these projects, do I guarantee that I'm going to get my goal or my commitment with Painting Business Pro? And that's a little harder one. Or I could say with my health, like, I want to be in great shape. I want to have higher energy, da, da, da. If I work out 4 times a week and I follow the diet plan that my brother and I've made for me, I don't like calling it a diet because I'm not on a diet. I just eat healthy. But if I follow this eating diet and I do these exercises, will I be in the best shape of my life? Will I feel good? Will I look good? Will I have high energy? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's how you know you've done it. And that's literally how you can guarantee that you have exactly the life you want, is you say, here's the life I want. Here's every area that's important to me. Here's the commitment. Here's the actions I would need to take on a weekly, monthly, or annual basis. And here's the one-time actions I would need to take to get that result. So I've mapped it all out. And then the last thing I do is I actually plug it into my calendar every single week. I plan my week using those goals. And then every single day I review the day, make sure I got it done. Anything I didn't get done, I move to the next day. And anything that pops up, I write it down. That's where we're at so far. So the next piece is this nice little thing called integrity. If you don't do it, it won't work. Integrity is the glue here. All right, so you must actually operate with integrity for all of this to work. All right, we're doing good on time. So I told you guys I was going to move fast. This is a quick overview of all this stuff. So anyways, let's keep going. So integrity. So we're talking about integrity as workability. Okay, so most people talk about integrity like it's a moral thing, like you should be a person of integrity. Integrity is good, or people not being a person of integrity is bad, or it's right or wrong, or like it's a moral thing, like I'm better than you because I have more integrity than you. Or people use integrity to like slam other people. So they'll be like, I showed up on time, you didn't show up on time, and then you use that against people. That's just not the kind of integrity we're talking about, right? We're talking about a different kind of integrity. We're talking about integrity as workability, like the integrity of a bicycle, all right? So if you've got, so integrity of a bicycle, so this is like integrity provides an opportunity for performance. It is the foundation for performance. Without integrity, there is no foundation for performance. You have a lessened, I don't know if that's a good word to use here. You have a smaller opportunity to produce results when there is a lack of integrity. On the other side, when integrity is fully present, you have the maximum opportunity for performance. So integrity isn't going to get it done, but it's a necessary condition. All right, so it's a necessary condition for performance. To the degree that you are a person of integrity is to the degree you have an opportunity for performance. All right, so let's look at the bicycle. So what has a bicycle have integrity? Well, we need pumped up tires, a tightened seat, straight handlebars, all the spokes, etc. And there's someone who knows more about bicycles that could probably tell me that, you know, there's other elements to it that has a bicycle be in top condition that have optimum integrity for optimum performance. All right, so this is a bicycle with integrity. And then there's a bicycle without integrity. So flat tires or missing spokes, a loose seat, right? So let me ask you this question. So if I take Lance Armstrong and I make a clone, so I have two Lance Armstrongs, and I put one Lance Armstrong on this bicycle, and I put one Lance Armstrong on this bicycle, which one is going to win the race? Obviously this one every single time. Because there's just, if the same guy is pedaling just as hard on a bike with flat tires as a bike with pumped tires, the guy on the bike with pumped tires is going to bike faster and further. The integrity offers an opportunity for performance. It limits the opportunity for performance. Okay, so integrity is critical. All right, like if you're riding in the Tour de France, you're not gonna even think about riding with a flat tire. Your bike is going to be in pristine condition because that's just something you can always manage. You can always manage the integrity of the bicycle to make sure you can go as far as you can, as fast as you can. All right, so that's the kind of integrity we're talking about, is we want to create the kind of integrity that allows for maximum performance. So that should make sense to you now. That's the kind of integrity we're talking about. Look, there's no right or wrong or good or bad. There's nothing moral about your bike having pumped up tires or not having pumped up tires. That's not a moral proposition. It's not a right or wrong proposition. It's not a good or bad. It's not even a value. It's just, if the tire's not pumped, it's not going to work as good. That's it. That's what we're talking about, all right? So the question is, how do you have integrity as a human being? How do you have integrity as a human being? Because we don't have tires and spokes. What we have is our word. All right, so how you have integrity as a person is you honor your word. All right, it's that simple, okay? That's it. Like, you have one thing, you know, if that's like a bike, the only thing that's necessary for a bike is that it has pumped up tires. The only thing that's necessary for a human being to have integrity is honoring their word. When you honor your word to a perfect degree, you perfectly honor your word, then you will have the maximum opportunity for performance. It's that simple. Magic happens when you honor your word. And, you know, there's nothing, again, there's a lot of traps here. The biggest trap you can fall in is you fall in that trap of like good, bad, right, wrong. Look, you're not a person of integrity. I'm not a person of integrity. I guarantee it. You're just not. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just limiting your opportunity for performance. So how do we do that? So number one, you keep your word. When you give your word, you keep it. Number two, when you can't keep your word, or you aren't going to keep your word, you can always honor your word. And that's what we're talking about here. So how you honor your word. So you would say, I said I was going to do X. I'm not going to do it. X. And then you first just got to acknowledge it. And then you got to clean up any mess you made. So if people are counting on you or this caused problems, so you got to clean up any mess you made. So you literally could ask the person, and you're showing up late to, a coffee date, and you're like, I'm so sorry. I said I'd be there at 8 o'clock. I'm running late. I'm going to be 5 minutes behind. I'm sorry. Is this screwing up your day at all? Okay, cool. I promise. And then what you do is you identify why X didn't happen, taking full responsibility. So it's not, I'm going to be 5 minutes late. Traffic sucks. And I'm late because of other people. It's like, no, you're late because you cut it too damn close, and you should leave a little earlier to be on time. So you would say, You know, hey, Carl, I said I was going to be here at this time. I'm not going to be at this time. You know, is this screwing you up at all? Okay, cool. Well, I promise in the future, man, I just didn't leave early enough. I promise, like, in the future, I'm going to leave a little earlier to make sure I'm always on time. So make a new promise with a new structure. And what happens here, guys, is when you do this process, anywhere you don't honor your word or keep it, you learn why you didn't. And you put a new structure or system in place that empowers you to keep your word next time. And, you know, so at first you say X will happen and it doesn't happen. But then you learn and you're like, next time I'm going to do this and this so that happens. And then X happens. And then you start saying a bigger and bigger X. And you have power with your word. You can say X and X happens. And whatever X is, it gets bigger and bigger as you build the power of your word. This is a mechanical thing. This is just practical. Honor your word. And there's other benefits to honoring your word and being a person of integrity, like people trust you. People can count on you. When you say something's going to happen, people believe you, including you. When you know yourself as a person of integrity, when you say something is going to happen, it is going to happen, God damn it. You become powerful. You can make powerful promises. You can speak more powerfully. People trust you. People listen to you. You become a very powerful human being when you become a person of integrity to the highest degree. And integrity is not a destination. It's a mountain you climb. And there is no top to this mountain. For example, there's no time where you become a master of integrity, because whatever the X is always gets bigger and shit is always going to come up, and this is life. And so you just better get used to making promises and not fulfilling them and cleaning them up. Integrity is the glue. Okay, so now just to recap, we have rules for time management. So first we make these life goals. We've written out everything that's important to us and what's our commitment. We've also written out the actions required to fulfill that. So you're not even a part of it. You're like writing this out on a piece of paper. All right, this is your assignment. Go write goals out and write action plans that guarantee the fulfillment of those goals. And then you put it into a weekly schedule and you plan that week every week. And then you check that every week. You're checking every day. Am I staying on track? What do I need to tweak? Adjust. All right. And then you're writing everything down that comes up to make sure that you are a person of integrity. And then, so now you have all your goals and you've got a time management system where it's all mapped out and it's going to happen. Then the integrity, you actually doing what you say you're going to do and following through on that, is the glue that keeps it all together. Without integrity, it's not going to happen. All right, so not the last one, but then we have responsibility, okay? So this, I'm going to go a little shorter. Again, not moral, good, bad, right, wrong. This is not what we're talking about again. Not virtuous. This is a point of view, a perspective, a stand you take, okay? It's a declaration. And that declaration is, I am 100% responsible in any situation. Okay, it is not the truth. It will not hold up in a court of law. You are not actually at fault or to blame, and it's not true. This is a perspective, a point of view, a place to stand, a declaration that you make for yourself. I've made this for myself. Who I am is that I am 100% responsible for everything in every part of my life. My relationship with my fiance, it's 100% me, 0% her. In my business, it's 100% me, 0% my team. It's 100% me, 0% my customers. If a customer gets really pissed off at me, I take 100% responsibility over here, 0% over here. And why? Why do we do this? What's the point? Well, number one, okay, anywhere that you don't take 100% responsibility means that you're pointing the finger at someone or something, which may be true. It may be totally accurate, but from that point of view, you can't do anything about it if it's not you. So you're fucked. So in any place in your life where you're not getting the result you want, and you're not taking 100% responsibility, then whichever aspects you're not taking responsibility for, own you. That is your limit. That is as far as you're going to go. You are stuck. You have no power. As a matter of your own declaration, you have no power because you're like, it's that thing that did it. Now, when you take on the point of view or the perspective or the stand that I am 100% responsible, it's like pretending, okay? So this customer's pissed at you and you're like, this customer's pissed. Well, let's just pretend it's 100% because of you. Look back in time. Like, look at the situation. How could you have prevented this from happening? How could you have made this customer happy? Where could you have dropped the ball? Like, if it actually is because of you and they're not a crazy son of a bitch, it actually is because of you. And maybe it's like, I should have known in the estimate not to sign this customer because they did this, this, and this, and I knew they were going to be difficult, and I shouldn't have signed them up in the first place. Or, you know what, they did voice a concern early on, and I just kind of brushed it off, and I didn't think it would be a big deal. Or, you know what, they did ask me to do that twice, and we didn't do it, and I knew we were going to do it, but from their point of view, we didn't do it, and we looked like a bunch of assholes. So yeah, I need to communicate better. Look, the thing is when you take 100% responsibility, you will always 100% of the time see openings for action and things you can do to get the result you want. So a signal that you're not being 100% responsible is if you don't know what to do. You're like, dude, I don't know what to do. I did everything. Like, these people are just crazy. That is a person who is not taking 100% responsibility. And that is a person that when they run into those kind of situations, they're going to get run over and they're going to get fucked and life isn't going to go their way and they're not going to be very happy. Responsibility becomes an opportunity for you to learn and to be unstoppable and to be all powerful. Nothing can stop you because you are taking 100% responsibility as a matter of your word. And the longer you do this, it starts to become the way the world works is you can make anything happen because you say so. And it really is that powerful. And it really is that simple, is you just have to be willing to stop pointing the finger and stop blaming people and stop avoiding blame and avoiding being responsible and just give up all that bullshit because it doesn't matter. Right, wrong, good, bad, all that doesn't matter. The reality is you've got this breakdown and you've got you and you've got the breakdown and you want that breakdown solved. Take 100% responsibility and it will be solved. So this is a really powerful, powerful thing. And that's a very quick introduction to it. All right. So the last thing I'm going to say is that it really makes a difference to manage your energy. I think these other four are like way more valuable, honestly, because this fifth thing, this is going to be a side effect. This is just going to happen if you do these other things. Because at some point, it doesn't have any integrity for you to get 4 hours of sleep at night. And it doesn't have any integrity for you to eat like shit because I think you probably have a commitment to your health and to your life and to being around for a while for your family. All right. So anyways, all these things I think are more like once you really take on integrity and you really take on your goals, I think these things all probably fit inside of your goals. So this whole topic should be a side effect. But it really does make a huge difference to get good sleep, to eat healthy, to drink water, and to exercise. And I don't even do all those perfectly. I do them pretty damn good though, and it certainly makes a difference when I do. But so I just kind of threw that in there because I think managing your energy is really important. But nonetheless, these other four things are highly, highly, highly critical and highly impactful. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I would like to. I'd like to know whichever lands to be. I'd like to just hear from you guys now, or maybe you don't have any questions. Maybe you got questions. Maybe you don't have questions. I can call on people and have you. I think I can. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, what questions you guys have, or what are you taking out of this? I think there's like a little thing where you can raise your hand or something too. No worries about the Lance joke, dude. I didn't even see it. What's wrong with John, I'm gonna call on you here. Let's see if we can get. That's weird, Carl. Do you know why I can't get people to like come
You want
up?
me to enable him to talk?
Yeah.
All right, hang on 1 second.
John, we're gonna get you on the mic, and then I'm gonna have some other people get on the mic too, and I want to hear from you guys.
All right. All right.
All right, John. So you got to unmute yourself, and then talk. Tell me what's wrong with generic goals.
What's going on? I just feel like it's always the same thing over and over again. Everybody, I'm sure if anybody actually did the assignment and wrote down a few goals right now, they're all going to have eat healthy, better finances, spend more time with their family, and whatever their thing is, travel, camping, play with the dog more.
Yeah.
So maybe something that like I've been told before and is harder to do is make more specific goals.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it needs to matter to you. Like if it's just like if it's uninspiring, why are you making it? Like, look, the future is unwritten. You could create fucking anything. So make something that you give a shit about. And if you don't, then don't make it.
Right. You got to be self-motivated. I hear you.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be, whatever people said, like more specific and blah, blah. It has to inspire you. It has to be what you really fucking want. It just has to really matter to you.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, that's all that's important.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm just trying to, because I wrote down the same goals, and those are the things I want. The gym. Yeah. Everybody wants to be healthy. Have the perfect wedding. Have the the best bank account that you can have because you're able to do more for the ones you love.
Yeah.
That's what's important to me. But maybe because I've wanted those things so long, they sound generic.
Well, those are generic. So there's. I just wanted to clarify the first thing about it's okay if things are a bit generic. Yeah, Sharina, we can, I don't know, Carl, do we have people's emails for who's on this webinar? Because I don't want to send it to everyone on the list. Here, I'll do this.
If they could email me, I'll put my email address in there.
No, stop. There's the doc, guys. That's the link to the doc. Just put it in the chat. Okay, so John, let's look at these goals. So let's look at the finance one. You said something like, I want to have a big fat bank account or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's not going to work for sure. Well, that might be like a kind of a general commitment, but but what do you want this year? This time next year, by the end of 2018, what do you want to fulfill on in the world of your finances?
Specifically, I'd probably like to, in addition to what I'm making now, I'd like to just show a consistent, maybe like 2,500 to 5,000 more a month.
All right, great. So I want to, and why do you want, and so I think that what's going to help you guys is keep asking why. So why do you want another 25 to 5,000 a month? What does that make available?
You got to walk before you can, run.
Yeah, but what would 2,500 to
plateau.
5,000 a month actually do for you? Like, what does that look like?
Well,
Or
I'm in the same stage. Business-wise, I'm brand new, but I'm engaged and we're looking for a home. So between that much money, I'd be able to afford a mortgage and pay for the wedding.
okay, great. So what I would write down would be pay for my wedding in full. I mean, my goal, see, here's the thing as an entrepreneur, is I like being an entrepreneur because I can have anything I want. I just got to figure out how to make the money.
Right.
So I kind of do my budgets and financial goals differently than most people would or should do their financial goals. Because most people are on fixed income and need to make a budget and they need to fit their life within the budget. I kind of write out everything I want. My last goals I usually make are my business goals because my travel goals, my life goals, my financial goals, all my other goals require time or money. And so then I figure out all the money I need and then I figure out how to make that money. So for me, I'm like, well, next year, I've got my wedding. I want to invest this much money into a company. I want to invest this much money into my 401k. I want to put this much into savings. I want to put this much into stock and other investments. I want to, like I already said, pay off my wedding. I need to pay my taxes. I'm going to have this much of a tax bill next year. And, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I write out all the things I need. And then I figure out how much I need to make, and then I figure out how to make it. So I get really specific with what I'm going to spend money on next year.
Nice. Yeah, this is a good time to start thinking about that too.
Yes. And my fiance, I just had her do it because, she has all her own goals. And I'm like, well, and she runs her own business. So I'm like, well, you need to figure out what your financial goals are and then figure out what does your business need to do to fulfill that. And then the other thing that happens, guys, is when the reality is all these goals are going to tie together and it gives a lot more life and purpose to every one of your goals. So now your business goal isn't just like a business goal and it's just not a bunch of money to make. It's like, no, this is a very specific goal that makes a very specific amount of money that then comes over and ties into my finances, which empowers me to be able to pay for my wedding and pay for a mortgage and take my honeymoon trip that I've always wanted to take. So that's what I'm waking up and fighting for. It's not just business and money, and then this other part of my life is separate. It's all tied together.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, great. All right, Peter. So the owning up to responsibility is huge. I find that concept keeps showing up in my life in many aspects, so it seems like it's just a no-brainer to live up to it. All right, let's get Peter on here real quick, Carl.
One second, I'm just enabling his chat.
No worries.
He should be enabled now.
Peter?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yeah, I just think that that really the owning up to responsibilities, like I said, is absolutely huge. Yeah, I mean, I just noticed, I mean, just over the past few months I've been practicing it, and just admitting when you're wrong or just being able to not harbor resentments where you think that it was so-and-so's responsibility or something else, even if it was, like you said, or, a customer did do something and there was definitely fault in it, just the ability to own it up 100%. That way that if you just train yourself and discipline yourself to do that, you absolutely, like you said, there's no room to point the finger at anyone. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey, you always have power. The ball is always in your court because you say so. And what you have to give up, here's the thing is what's in the way of people being responsible is they don't want to be at fault, or they don't want to be blamed, or they don't want to admit guilt or some shit like that. That doesn't matter. Give it up. Quit worrying about looking good. It's killing you.
Yeah, it's definitely it's pretty cool. It's a humbling experience. I mean, it really goes into sort of a philosophy of like kind of shedding the ego and just being humble and open to how things really are.
Yeah, really good. Awesome. Thanks, Peter. Let's hear from Russ real quick. I want Russ just to expand on that. Can you get Russ in here, Carl? Russ Perry?
Yeah, right now. Russ, I think you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
You may not be able to understand my strange accent, but I'll try anyway.
We love it.
Yeah, so I just think it's done a really good job today of highlighting the fact that once you've got those goals set in front of you, and you need to know why those goals are what they are and what you need to get to them, but you've got that constant reminder about how you're going to get to that point, and I think that's what you need.
Yeah, great. Awesome. Anything else?
No, not really. No, I know what my goals are, and I know what stops me from achieving them.
And so you guys can see why at the beginning I said I spend a lot of time doing this, because it's like I'm charting out a course in a map for the next year. It's like, imagine if you're traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast, and you're gonna hike across the map for a year, like, and you got to make that, you want to make that really, really clear. You want to make sure your pathway is really, really clear and really, really organized, so that you're going to be able to fulfill it. And once you have spent that much time on making your goals and crafting out your goals and getting clear on them, once you've spent that much time for it, you're that much more motivated to stick to it. And you're that much more in touch with it, and it's that much more real to you. So it's naturally creates a lot more motivation. You're naturally more likely to fulfill on those goals because you've taken a lot of time and a lot of thought and really worked it out. So what I'm going to jump into now, guys, is let's see where the goal setting. Yeah, here it is. All right, guys. So we're going to be doing a Friday, we're opening, or I guess that's tomorrow. So we're opening Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. All right. So it's called Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship is the name of the course. It's about how to have it all: financials, goal setting, time management for entrepreneurs, and a bunch of other stuff. So what we went through today is very much an introduction to it. So there's a lot, we're going to spend a lot more time on these things. So this is going to be an 8-week course. All right. It's going to be 8 weeks. It's a 1.5-hour webinar each week. All right, so week 1, we're doing like an introduction and overview to the course, which is similar to what we've covered today, but a little bit more. We're going to cover a little bit more than what we did today. Some of those there's just some other things in here, some other fundamentals, all right, that we didn't get to. And then what we're going to get into is week 2. It's just going to be all about goal setting. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit more tools, kind of like what John brought up about specifics. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how do you set goals, how to think about your future goals, and give you guys some stuff about that. And then every week there's going to be some homework that people are going to go and work on. And we'll have a Facebook group. So this is going to be an 8-week program where I'm going to be walking everybody week by week by the hand and creating really powerful goals, a really powerful schedule, and then actually, because it's 8 weeks, you're actually going to get into it and start implementing all this. And then you're going to have breakdowns and you're going to run into stuff, and there's going to be opportunities to get feedback and stuff like that. So week 2 is going to be on goal setting. Week 3 is going to be how do we create a really good weekly sustainable schedule, and how should you break things up. Financial organization. I find that many entrepreneurs really struggle with this. So I'm going to provide you guys with my financial organization, financial management, and just to give you a sense of it. Like I have let's find a blank budget. So this is, I can tell you every single dollar I have spent this year to the penny. I know exactly how much money I've spent and where I've spent it on what. And so this is like a blank budget for how we organize financial goals for the future, and then how we update and track it every week so we always know where we're at. So that's going to be a whole week on financial organization, financial management. And then we have business and income goals. So we're going to talk about how to set really good business goals specifically, and then how do we optimize business goals. And so there's going to be a whole week on business goals. And then we're going to talk about execution and how to make adjustments. And throughout the year, obviously, things aren't going to go perfectly to plan. So how do you always be adjusting and tweaking to make sure that you're still working towards your goal? We're going to talk a little bit about integrity and responsibility, some of these other things we've talked about too. Then we're going to talk about increasing income and what are the principles that go behind how do I increase income really consistently every single year. So there's some really basic thinking there. And then just talking about how we tie it all together. And so that's going to be basically that's going to be the course. It's going to be an 8-week course, and we're going to walk everybody through the goal setting, the time management, making a perfect schedule, financial management, all that stuff. And because this is something that I think is critically valuable and just makes a huge, huge difference, we've got 8 weeks to work together on it. So that's just kind of what's to come. And so that opportunity will be available this weekend. It's going to be a couple $100 to join the course. And I think we're going to be limiting it to probably 20 people just to keep it reasonable. In my experience, not everybody shows up to conference calls. So even if we do 20, 8 people show up, 5 people show up or something like that. So, anyways, so that's what's coming. So are there any, so I guess I just want to, I saw from a few of you guys that you got some value out of this. I hope that you guys are taking something out of this. My commitment was that, you guys come into this call and just from this webinar, you get some strategies and some tools to go and implement. And like I said, I did post the sheet that we were working on. I did go ahead and post that link here in the chat. I'll post it again so you guys have access to that. And if you have any questions, now would be the time to type them in, because we're going to end this webinar as long as there's no other burning questions y'all have. Glad you liked it, Russ. All right, guys. You're welcome. Well, I hope it was valuable, and I hope 2018 is the best year you guys ever had. And I hope this helps in fulfilling on all that. If you guys have any feedback for me, or you have questions, or just any feedback, I would love to hear it. Feel free to send me an email. And we'll be sending out more information about the course this weekend. So you guys have a great Thursday, and thanks for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. It says a lot about who you are and what you're committed to, and it really does. It does say a lot about you, and so I appreciate that you guys are here, and I'm confident in what you guys are going to be able to accomplish next year. Just the fact that you're on here, it'll go a long way. So have a good Thursday, guys. Carl, we can end the webinar now. Thanks. I'll call you in a sec. Bye, guys.